Ye Wubin's 100 Lessons to Mastering Time Management. Lesson 52. Meaning first, method second. Hello everyone, my name is Ye Wubin from Neng. I am so happy to be with you now at 6 a.m. on the Ximalaya App. For those of you who have been following my lessons, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome aboard. I am so happy to have you with us. Time is man's scarcest resource. Once it's used, it can never be regained. So if you're not using your time effectively, or if the time you are spending is only getting you further away from your dreams in life, then stay with me. Listen a while, and I'm confident I can help open your eyes to a new path that will get you closer to your dreams. I want to remind you there are 100 classes in this album, and every class lasts about 6 minutes. It is updated at 6 a.m. New York City time each morning. I've been focusing on the topic of reflection in the past few lessons. We've talked about how to translate an idea into action, and the 3 questions of reflection which bring meaning to the action. Remember, ideas and chores cannot be managed. Only action can be managed. We must therefore translate ideas into actions, and the way we translate them is through those 3 questions. At Ye Neng, we call this reflection clarification, because that is what we are doing. We are clarifying the task by bringing meaning to it, making it purposeful. Today, I want to talk about a phrase that you should learn to remember. Meaning first, method second. Many people make lists, that is nothing new, but what most people include in the lists are chores. The thing that most people do not do, and that will help you stand apart from others, is classifying and arranging chores into meaningful contexts and lists. Think of a list as the trunk of your car. You can throw things into the trunk, and over time you will be left with a very messy car trunk. This is how most people arrange their lists. Without a system of organizing the trunk, it will be very difficult to retrieve items from the trunk or even to remember that they are there to be used. Sometimes you'll even go and buy another tool that is already in your trunk, simply because you did not remember that it was there. That is the inefficiency that comes from most lists. Now, why does this happen? Well, because most of us only know how to classify, but not clarify meaning in the lists. Today I'm going to teach you the correct and effective way to manage lists. Meaning first, method second. So what is meaning and method? Meaning usually means screening, and method usually means classification, screening and classification. When we are doing things during the normal course of our day, our mind is constantly generating new ideas, and if we don't record those ideas very quickly, we will forget them forever. However, there is a second problem. We cannot spend too much time on the new idea, or else we'll lose focus and never complete whatever we are currently doing in our everyday life. We will never live in the moment. Can you see how these 2 things compete with each other and create a problem? Since we are occupied and currently completing a task, we can only sacrifice very little of our mental energy to do something with that new idea that comes out of your mind. So imagine we only have 1% of our total mental energy to do something with the task if we are not to sacrifice our current productivity on whatever we're doing. In other words, you must quickly and easily transfer that task somewhere else and focus on it later when we can devote more energy to it. When we have time to sort out these chore lists, we will find a few things happening. First, we'll find that we need to deal with some urgent things as soon as possible. Second, that we must complete some important things by a deadline. Third, that some ideas are not worth pursuing and should be deleted. And fourth, that some things that we have not thought through enough can be put into the future maybe list and temporarily tabled until a later date. We clarify the tasks by deleting things we shouldn't do, reserving things temporarily that need more reflection, scheduling other items in a calendar, or putting them into a situation list. This clarification requires a trade-off. You cannot complete all tasks, so if you choose to complete some tasks, you must not do others. Management master Peter Drucker said that 80% of tasks should be delegated. Only 20% of tasks are important and specific enough that you should do them yourself. Now, there are tasks that are important but non-urgent. There is no specific time that each task should be completed, but can be best and most efficiently completed in specific contexts or situations. For instance, removing the weeds in a doorstep, traveling in a hot air balloon, these are all tasks that have really no sense of importance or urgency, but can be completed in a specific situation. Other tasks are favors or promises for others, and they don't have deadlines either. These need to be placed in your situational lists as well. So, is it so critical to have meaning before method? Indeed it is, because in life you will be endlessly bombarded with more and more tasks. You will never have enough time to complete all tasks, just the ones you deem important enough. So, you must be able to determine what is the meaning of a task in order to determine which is more important than the other. So we need to think about, assess, and understand our tasks, retain the important tasks, and delete the unimportant. And we should defer or save the items that are not currently important but could later become important. When you do this, you are left with the items that need to be completed. Then we classify chores that need to be completed into agenda items and situation items. Agenda items are ready to be acted on as is. Situation items need to be completed at a certain time or place. That's what we call context. The situational affairs need to be subdivided further into contexts like at home, office, outside, on the bedside computer, etc. And only in this way can we produce the specific list to use in a specific situation or context. It's much easier to pull up the right list for the situation when it is recorded in special software like OmniFocus. Let's say you aren't that busy and you have a relatively normal and relaxing lifestyle. You walk the dog, cook, look after your child every day. If this is the case, then you might only have a small number of lists. If you were a senior in a company and have many subordinates and employees, and your primary function is to patrol the company, meeting seldomly, then you probably don't need those time management techniques either. However, if you're in a company in the startup or growth phase, or if you are highly involved with the day-to-day operation of the company, then this system will be very helpful. Now, remember in closing, meaning first, method second. Don't rush to execute your tasks immediately. Prioritize and classify first. Give meaning to your tasks. These audio lessons are translated by Neng's partner Cece and then recorded by her husband Justin. I wish you great success today. See you tomorrow.